TGFR.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zach. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zach, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the plane. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to the Ironworx with Zach, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
Listening to the Ironworx on TFR. Break clear of the fear.
TGIF, everybody. Happy Friday. Good morning and welcome to the Ironworx right here on Truth Frequency Radio. My name is Josh Corey, and I am joined this morning by no fewer than two of my very good friends and co-hosts right here on the show. I'm going to start off with one Mr. Walter Johnson, Facebone777 on Twitter, Flat Earth Head over on YouTube. Walt, how's your week been, sir?
Good morning, Josh. Good morning, Zach. Good morning, TFR. Or I say morning, as I know it could be afternoon, evening, or night for you. Who knows? All across the plane where you currently are residing under the dipole we call the sun. Anyway, hope you all are doing fine. I've had a good week. I've been tie-dyeing shirts, and I got my order in. I've got my soda ash and some more powder, and I'm ready. I am full-on hippie at this point.
Nice.
It's been interesting. I've learned a lot. I've learned how not to do a few things, and that's usually how you start the best, is learning how not to do it so you know how to do it. So I attempted my first design as far as putting an actual something not important, something on purpose, I guess. A heart design for my granddaughter. We'll see how it turns out when I take the batch out a little bit later today.
Well, I did get to see one of the shirts you'd made on Wednesday when we did our pre-show, and I gotta say the colors are nice and bright. You had some awesome blacks in there, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that's my thing, adding the black to it. I saw someone doing that years ago, maybe at probably in New Orleans at the French Market, I would guess, one of the people there, because there was usually at least 2 or 3 stands that had tie-dye, and they all had their own unique take on it. Some had decided to, go with the colors of the teams around here, and it was kind of cheesy, and another one was kind of stuck in the Mardi Gras colors, I guess, if you will. So, that, they all had their own New Orleans flair to them. But one guy had the black, I do remember, and it was awesome. So I thought when I started doing it, I would try to incorporate it. So it's different. I like it. Y'all stop buying up all my dye powder out there, though. Give me a chance, man. Like I started late on this. Apparently everybody jumped on this ahead of me before I knew about how awesome it was. And so now it's difficult to get stuff. But as of this month, I think the big dye house is getting their stock back in some order anyway. So hopefully over this next month, I'll really be able to finalize my color scheme. We'll see. Anyway.
Who'd have thought that little-known issues from this pandemic,
right,
would have been...
Apparently not just this. Apparently sourdough, mother of sourdough, like that you start the sourdough process with.
Right.
Apparently that is now hard to come by. Apparently, like I said, everybody went full on hippie for the lockdown. They made their own bread and dyed their own shirts. Or maybe they're dyeing bread. Hell, I don't know what's going on.
Who the hell knows? Let's run over and say hello to our other good friend and co-host this morning, Mr. Zachary Zabala. You might know him on YouTube as Good Times for All. GUDTIMS, the number 4, ALL. Zach, how has your week been, sir?
Hey, Josh. Hey, Walt. Hey, everybody out there in TFR land. Week's going good. Today is the appraisal. The bank's sending out people to come and make sure we're not trying to sell the house for $100,000 more than it's worth. And then we'll be ready. We got 21 days from today.
To actually vacate and be gone, huh?
Yep.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah, it is. I am pumped. So yeah, just, Cammy was going nuts, cleaning nooks and crannies yesterday and all that stuff. It's funny, Bob, he's not worried about this one at all. I mean, the house is appraising, $50 less on all the other like online appraisal type things than what they were asking. So they're not really, and the people waived the appraisal anyway. So this is really just a formality.
Huh.
Did you guys hear about the comet that's supposedly visible with the naked eye right now?
Like when Stephen King meets the Wachowskis. That's what I'm trying to think of. Yeah. Neowise, I think, is the name of this comet.
Yes. Neowise, that's it. Yeah, just a few days ago it became visible, and there's
just get that.
They had no idea about this.
Stephen King.
Supposedly it was found back in March. Yeah, this comet.
Visible with the naked eye, though, from what I hear.
To the naked eye, yeah. People are taking pictures of it with regular type cameras from it's not zoomed in on it. You can see like the city skyline. And a comet. I'm going to look for it this morning. It should be.
I've seen those pictures actually, and didn't realize what was going on. I'm really lax, as you probably see from the small pile of lettuce. But yeah, I'm interested about now.
Well, yeah, 5 days ago, they were saying that it may become visible. It was a binocular type thing. You had to have optics to see it, and then all of a sudden, it just exploded. And it's got 2 tails on it, supposedly. I don't know. I can't wait. I'm hoping it's clear out. I'm
2 tails.
Yeah. And here in a week, maybe 2. Now, you can only see it early in the morning for a couple more days, they believe. They're not, they have no clue. They don't even know what they are. But for a few more days, you can see it in the morning. And this thing is supposed to be so bright that here in a week or 2, you might be able to actually see it in the evening, like right after dusk.
Yeah,
we'll see. I don't know.
Interesting. Well, according to Scientific American, what I'm seeing is, I'm trying to find the exact time of the morning as I hurry up and quick scan this article. It's in the constellation Auriga, if that helps anybody who knows their constellation. Around July 12th, it'll be visible in the evening, about an hour after sunset. It's going to be in the northwestern horizon, near the northwestern horizon. And then as the month progresses, it'll move higher in the sky, moving from the constellation Lynx toward the Big Dipper, interestingly enough. On July 22nd, 2-2 for all of you numerologist, the comet will reach its closest point to Earth, on the 22nd. Interesting. And then it'll go away from us as it heads out into the void. Apparently, comets are like cats, according to Frank Marchis, who's an astronomer at the SETI Institute, because we would have to go to SETI to find out about comets. Naturally, we wouldn't go to a cometologist or a comet estimate. I don't know. Cometista, Inista. I don't know. But yeah, apparently a SETI guy knows more about the comets. So that's who says they're unpredictable, like cats. Anyway, yeah, cool. I will go see it. In fact, I may slip out before daylight and go check it out with you guys, if my phone will accommodate that.
That'd be pretty cool.
And according to our histories, and I don't know how official these histories are, but they've written about this stuff, comets and catastrophes that happen, before and after them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was wondering about this one and how come it just surprised everybody. You would think we would have had a plan of it coming, some kind of foreknowledge, since we have all of this stuff orbited out really to a mathematical precision. It's all been scienced out, and we're just playing catch up because we don't know how all this stuff works. But apparently they didn't know this one was coming, and now I see why. It only comes through every 6,800 years.
Yeah, I was thinking about this when I heard about this. What if they just say every year, every few months, hey, there's a comet. Hey, there's a comet. But we never see any of these things because there's never really a fucking comet. They just have to say it because they don't know when they're coming.
Because the ones we do see are going to be for signs and for seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So if we just pay attention to the ones we can see, then we might start noticing a correlation between that and the events going on.
There you go. There you go. Well, I mean, they've already got it figured out for us as far as correlations. We get the jack-o'-lantern at Easter. We get the Santa Claus at Halloween. I don't remember how they got it worked out, but they got it worked out. They got it.
Now, is Neowise, is that supposed to be another green one?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see. What color is it?
There was another green one that came through. I remember we had Cammie was talking about one, and then there was another one after that. But I don't think it was this one, now that I say that. I don't know. I can't keep track of them all. Stupid space letters. But we got a pile of space lettuce this morning.
As a little side note, off to the right of this story on scientificamerican.com, scientificamerican.com, off to the right, little clickbait article that I could read this next. Space is the apparent area of Scientific America we find this heading under, and the title of the story, aliens could have, ding, 100 eyes. So now you know. Thank you.
It's late.
I still haven't found a bell that works like that for me. So yeah, just in case you were wanting a little scientific endeavor for your morning to read about there. Oh, see, man, I got to stop reading and making assumptions. I've made an ass out of me. Just me, not you. Apparently this story was originally published in November of 1854, so now that makes more sense.
Just missed it. Well, just missed it.
I mean,
I was close.
270 years. That's not a bad window, I guess.
Man, how long is this article? Because I almost have to read this now that oh, yeah. Here we go. Okay. So, Sir David Brewster, who supposes the stars to be inhabited as being, quote, the hope of the Christian, asks, is it necessary that an immortal soul be hung upon a skeleton of bone? Must it see with two eyes and rest on a duality of limbs? May it not rest in a Polyphemus, I guess, with one eyeball, or an Argus with 100? May it not reign in the giant forms of the Titans and direct the 100 hands of Briareus? Supposing it were true, what has that to do with the hope of the Christian? Nothing at all. This speculating in the physical sciences, independent of any solid proofs one way or the other, and dragging in religion into such controversies neither honors the author of religion nor adds a single laurel to the chaplet of the sciences, nor will we ever be able to tell whether Mars or Jupiter contain a single living object. Scientific American, November 1854.
We can't bots the right like that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Those old school bots had it on, dude. They were on top of this, for sure.
I can't humans write like that anymore.
Yeah, now there's a good one.
It was probably written by some 15-year-old. Yeah, they're definitely. Their plan on dumbing us down has worked beautifully. We got to give them credit for it. Everything we believe to know is like backwards. And people say, "Well, why would they do that? Why would they lie to us?" Well, the head of the CIA is quoted saying, "Our mission will be complete when everything the American people believe is wrong." So I don't know what. Go ask him. Don't ask me. I'm not the one lying to you.
I'm
They
here
are,
trying to bring
and
you
they're
the
open
truth.
about it.
Don't ask
Yeah.
me about why they lie.
They're very open about lying too. It's not like they're hiding it. They tell us they don't want us to know the truth.
Well, of course we can have propaganda on television now. I don't know why
What's the
some
big
idiot made it
deal?
illegal to begin with.
Freedom of the press, right? That's our Constitution, right?
Hey, it worked for the Nazis, guys. Come on. Yeah. Oh. And people just think it's all right. No, when I tell people that, they didn't. They didn't make that legal. It's like, yeah, Obama did that, back in 2012, 2013, something like that? It's been a long time since they've been allowed to do this.
Was it his second term or was it his first?
I thought it was after the NDAA Act from 2011, but I may be mistaken. I'm not 100% sure on that.
No, I think you're right. I think it was the second. I think it was towards the end of the second.
Yeah, when he just didn't have to care anymore about getting reelected, so he was just doing whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Do you guys care who wins this election? Do you think it's going to make a difference if it's Biden or Trump?
I never cared growing up. I didn't care even during the time that I took the initiative from one of my rock star friends to actually go vote. Once I saw it all happen, I realized it was all as much bullshit as I knew it was growing up and didn't ever care again. I mean, literally, I didn't care. As much crap has come up about every politician leading in when all the, he's from Kenya. We've got the proof when all that started. When the possibility of a reality TV star being elected might even be a thing. I didn't care. I didn't care because it's all bullshit. It's all been bullshit. And I knew it as a child and I know it as an adult. And thank goodness I never got wrapped up in politics. Sorry. Mini rant over.
Yeah, I spent a few years, maybe 3-4 years in politics after Alex Jones. And, yeah, you learn real quick that it doesn't even matter what they write on paper. It's all bullshit. Everything. The laws, all this stuff that they pass, most of it's fear porn. And that's when I just quit. And when Facebook started censoring my posts back in 2011, I was especially when that NDAA Act came out, I went nuts. And then, yeah, I was going to my buddies' Facebooks. They're on their computers and trying to look at my page, and they couldn't see anything that I was putting down. That's why I was like, yeah, fuck YouTube. Fuck YouTube, yeah, but no, fuck Facebook. I'm done. See ya.
I agree. And it was just something I got on about maybe a month and a half, because, you can find friends and family, and and then I did and saw what all those friends and family were doing on there. I was like, never mind. Hi, miss y'all, love y'all, bye. Because it wasn't, they were all wrapped up in it. The politics, the crap, the bullshit that I do my best to avoid on a daily basis. And it's sad and depressing to see them so caught up in it. So I just quit doing it. It took a lot for me to even start going back to Facebook to attempt to hook up with people in the community that we all have built over the last 4 or 5 years. So, and when I do go over there and see the people doing their thing there, it's always it's encouraging to see that they're fighting a good fight. But like you say, when every other day it gets censored or taken down or blocked or whatever, and then you see the agenda crap just sail right on through. It's very frustrating. And reiterates that it's all bullshit, and they're going to play the game like they want to play the game, and you're not in the game. You're just part of the game. Get out of the game. Then you're winning. That's the only way to win their games, to get the flip out of it.
I was pretty
Or
anti-Obama.
sell your soul and, start blinking your eyes sideways. It's up to you.
When Obama was coming in
Sorry,
the first
Josh.
time. No, that's all right. I was pretty anti-Obama. But I was pretty into, really just sort of getting into some of the actual real conspiracy type stuff. So then we had the whole who was the damn it, who is the I don't even know what the hell I'm trying to say anymore.
Carrie?
No, well, Glenn Beck was going on about something. The 12th Imam, I guess, coming up out of the well after 800 years. Once they've spread enough chaos and blood has been shed, then the 12th Imam will rise to come and rule the world. And that's what they were doing over there in, what was it, Iran, I think, at the time, maybe?
Maybe so.
I think that's right, because they're the one that's pretty well religiously run state. And the Iranians were trying to raise the 12th Imam, and they were bringing in this president to try to enforce Sharia law on America and do away with the Christianity in America and bring in Islam. I was just sort of, still buying it because I just sort of fell into it, and I was excited. It was interesting, and then I saw all the goofy stuff happening, and I realized that there's got to be something more. And that was right around the time I started researching, sovereignty and the legal deception and all that stuff. It was probably right around the time he was starting his second term. And then from there it was, oh my God, these rabbit holes go deep. I've just spent like 3 years studying law. What the hell is wrong with me? I need to back off. Oh, wait. What do you mean the earth might be flat? No way.
Get out of here.
Right, now here I am 5 years later. Probably less of a flat earther than I was 5 years ago, but is definitely not a ball. A lot of the things that I accepted when I first got into flat earth, I don't necessarily accept so much, but I think that's healthy and is sort of the progression of flat earth, I think.
That's interesting that you say that, Josh. I've gone through that lately a lot, as I have had people that have kind of come back to me with questions before they wouldn't even ask, kind of thing. And and like, especially my stepdaughter, she is constantly going, well, but you said da 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 da. I'm like, yeah, that was what, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I said a lot of stuff then that I thought I had a clue about. And as we discussed that, and she's like, yeah, but you were so adamant that you blah blah blah. I'm like, a lot of that, I think, was that we were doing two things. Number one, we were having that new reawakening, because it is a continual cycle. Nobody's woke. That's why you keep seeing that everywhere, because that's their bullshit, making you think you woke up. It's not waking up. It's a constant awakening. And your eyes get opened a lot, all the time, by a lot of shit. It's something I've also realized. And so you change those thoughts. You change those set in stone ideas. But part of that is because we came from that indoctrination that somewhere the authority knows, somewhere that guy in the lab coat or that teacher or that whoever knows the 100% truth. And if we can get to that person or learn what they wrote in that book, then we'll know it all. Know it all. And we're still breaking that even today. A lot of the egos and things that have, driven some hard lines between a lot of people that should just be hugging it out and loving each other over all this stuff. it's showing that we're still fighting that programming of somebody's got to know 100% everything. I don't think so. I think this thing is an ever evolving place, and it's going to change every time we think we have our finger on it.
And every time you think you know something, the shit's changing on us now. The whole Mandela effect thing has really been, I don't want to say pulling me in, but like it's tugging on a coat string. Like, you need to kind of pay attention to this a little bit more. I don't know. It's like everything is accelerating. I'm noticing more stuff now when I watch Brian talk. Stavely, he's my, I know there's so many people out there covering it and doing great work, but Brian's who introduced it to me, and he's one of those shows I watch a lot. And is
that break music?
That is break music. As a matter of fact, it is.
Wow, that flew by.
It did. This is the Ironworks. Josh, Walt, and Zach. We'll be right back after these quick messages.
From the dawn of man, we have turned to nature to help attain balance within ourselves. But somewhere, we lost our way. Western culture is once again remembering the healing benefits of CBD, the non-psychoactive component of the hemp plant. That's why more and more people who use CBD report relief from inflammation and chronic pain, balanced blood sugar and cardiovascular system, relief from muscle tensions, tremors, migraines, headaches, anxiety, depression, and the list goes on. The big question is, where do you get it? IOLife is a 99% pure CBD oil made with all organic ingredients, and it's available to TFR listeners worldwide. If you use coupon code TFR at checkout, you'll get $5 towards your order. Head on over to iolife.com now. That's AYA life.com.
Hey folks, guess what the #1 phrase that Life Change Tea receives by email? You ready? We love this tea. We love this tea. Time after time, week after week, we love this tea. Life Change Tea gives you more energy, a beautiful cleansing, and fulfills its slogan perfectly. The tea that makes you go. So if you want to be on your health game, log on to getthetea.com and order Life Change Super Strength Tea. Packages come in a 1-month supply, and when you brew this stuff, wait until you see the results. Aren't we all about the results? And with a lot of people's health struggling, we can use a little bit of help. Doctors will tell you disease starts in the gut. So log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Be our next email saying, I love this tea. I love this tea. Get the tea at getthetea.com. Helping America one tea bag at a time.
More than a dozen astronauts have officially reported UFOs. Hundreds of hours of UFO footage were filmed by astronauts aboard the space shuttle. Many of these UFOs can only be seen in ultraviolet light. Retired former Apollo astronauts and cosmonauts now tell their stories of their own personal UFO encounters.
The Enigma Channel, intelligent television for planet Earth. EnigmaTV.com.
Real people, real radio. Wherever you are, make it TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
It's Friday, my dudes.
Shout out. Welcome back to the Ironworx. Shout out to the amazing Ennio Morricone, an amazing composer. If you don't know his music, you have missed a lot. He passed away on the 6th of July at the age of 91 in Italy in a hospital. He wrote scores for more than 500 movies, and at a ripe young age of probably 3 years old, I found this album in my grandmother's record collection because there wasn't a whole lot to do when you visited grandma's house if you didn't want to go outside in the heat or the rain. And so I spent my time in front of the record player listening to stuff that most 3 or 4 year olds probably wouldn't have listened to. Walter Brennan, spoken word albums, lots of Johnny Cash, and this soundtrack, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And as I brought up this video and saw that album cover, I was sitting in that room again at 4 years old looking at that album cover. Had not seen the movie at that point, at that age. I mean, you know, Westerns were not a big thing for me, but this music was. It spoke to me, the horns, the feeling, the progression. Like you could feel there was a story being told in this music. And when he got to this song on this album, I was pumped up, Jack. So fast forward to me.
Now, was that real quick? Was that a Sergio Leone?
That was his movie, a Sergio Leone movie. Yeah, there was a series of movies. Fistful of Dollars, Few Dollars More, and Good, Bad, the Ugly. And they're an amazing trio of movies. If you haven't seen them, if you're a Western fan, it's just spaghetti Western, cheesy, but they're great. But
and that guy wrote, I mean, Sergio probably used a lot of that guy's songs.
Oh, yeah, he wrote most of the movies for him. Yeah.
Yeah, Terrence Hill and all that stuff. I mean, that music just sounds so... like it all comes from the same place.
It pumps you up. Yeah. It pumps you up. Yeah. So I'm fast forward to me being like a early teenager or teenager, early 20s, metalhead, playing guitar, learning stuff. Find this band who's really heavy, play music like nobody else, heavy guitar, chunky. So I start learning all these Metallica riffs. They come in concert. I finally get to see them for the first time. I'm so excited. I'm there. I'm in the crowd. I don't even remember who the opening band was. Oh, it was Queensryche, actually. Pumped up for them. And then they hit the stage. And that song we just heard starts playing. And I'm like, I'm just stunned because I'm 4 years old again and like listening to this music. And it's like, what? These dudes know real good music. And that whole song, that's how they enter their concerts. They started sucking a lot and sold out, but at that point, Metallica was still badass. So shout out to an amazing composer. And shout out to Brian Gasca, our buddy, who had actually apparently heard that this happened and asked us to play this song. I had already looked it up for that very reason. So thank you, Brian. I was ahead of you on it, but I appreciate the sentiment. And dude, we missed this guy for sure. Go check out any of his soundtrack. You'll be astounded when you go see all the movies he's done soundtracks for, actually.
Big shout out to both Liz and Dawn hanging out over there in the TFR chat. And I think bouncing back and forth between there and YouTube.
I noticed they were ping-ponging. Yes, they were.
Because we are streaming live on YouTube as well. Not to mention Facebook. Well, I guess I just did. And also Twitter. And also DLive. And also Twitch.
That is all thanks to you wonderful people. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We can't say it enough. And there's like a lot of folks actually now that I'm over here. I'm back and forth myself playing ping pong. Shout out to Travis, the Plain Truth. I will get to your song. We're going to figure it out. Shout out to Sean Oko. Nora just got there. Hello, Nora. What? Martini and Rossi in the house. What's up, Martin Linka? How are you, my friend? I just saw you pop in. Liz is over there. She popped back over. Flat Earth Aussie Roscoe. Shout out. Always hanging. Always has good stuff to say. I saw Voynich there earlier. Allie Peak is there. Dawn is there. Good morning, everybody. I'm sure I missed people who were chatting earlier and have not been participating, so they're not in the list at the moment, but I did my best. Alexander Lightwater was there early. I see you. Sean, I said that already. Voynich. I think I got everybody. LC King, that's one I missed. What's up, LC? John Bernards, I see you too. All right, I think I'll put my magic mirror away.
Yeah, Lucas's, or LC King, his last video, I believe it was his last one. I haven't seen one since, but totally opened everything up for me on how this place is a giant battery, and it just clicked. He said this thing about krill, the little things that whales eat.
Yeah, right.
I think that's what he was talking about. No, I'm not. But there's something that we actually use this stuff to make our batteries. The lithium ion batteries, I believe it is. There's something in those that we use. And we make these little pools for it. And, you know, we farm them and grow them and this and that.
Right.
But this grows out in the ocean naturally. So there's, you know, huge quantities of this stuff out in the water.
See, that's one I didn't know. It was recent years when I found out that we use living things to make LCD screens.
Yeah, I mean, all this stuff is alive and it's around us doing all this stuff. It's not just, you know, after humans put it all together. We are more or less mimicking nature for the most part. You know, most of the stuff we do.
Is nature just a very elaborately well put together machine?
Uh-huh. Yeah, but yeah, if you haven't seen LC King stuff, go to his channel and check it out. If you're looking for a new ocean to try to swim across, years of research, just years of research. And I understand where he's coming from. He says the stuff and, you know, he knows it. It's like learning another language. And when I hear it, I really have to dig in and research, and that's why I haven't gotten too much into it. I'm still on my electricity magnetism thing. But the whole battery thing and all that, I will definitely get into that one day. And yeah, he is amazing. Just the research that guy's done. Check him out for sure.
Indeed. And I will admit I am very far behind. Well, hell, I'm far behind on everybody. I do my best. I have started doing the John Savage / was it Red Fox or was it Baldini that was telling us? I think both of them were telling us to listen to stuff and fast forward. And I was like, yeah, John's been telling us that for years now. So I'm about to start listening to Mickey Mouse videos every time I go, just to speed up the process so I can catch up.
I still don't have it in me.
It is an acquired skill. And definitely can only be done in small stretches right now. Hopefully it will be something I can tolerate longer, but I don't think I'm going to get as much out of it. I just don't. It just feels like I'm going to let it wash over me. And it'll just become a background drone because of the speed, but we'll see. Apparently, we need the link for LC King's channel. Let me go find it. Are you got it, Zach? You probably can find it quicker than I can. It'll be there. There it is. Boom.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I was just in
You
the
were
middle
doing
of
it. You were
and I was
multitasking.
muted, and yeah.
That's all good. You got it. It's in chat on the YouTube channel over there on the Iron Real Media page. If you haven't gone, check that out. What are you doing with your days, man?
And I will
Speaking of years of crap to catch up on
as well.
Right. It'll be on TFR as well. And we might even have a description later that'll have it included. That's something suddenly hit me the other day. I was like, hey, we probably should be dropping some show description in these Ironworx in the mornings too. It's probably helpful for people later when they're looking for stuff. Just hit me. It's not automatically doing it there like it is everywhere else. But hey, you learn, and that's how you grow.
Big shout out to Salamo in chat. I see just dropped in.
I just got back to the vault myself.
Looks like he's been active again lately.
When is he not? That dude is prolific.
Energizer bunny. I swear. I can't do that when it comes to writing or really creating. When I go to make a YouTube video now, since I don't just sit down in front of the screen and say what I want to say and draw it on a little whiteboard or something like that, I find them so much harder to write because I'm trying to get all this information that I usually take 10 to 20 minutes rambling on about into a short 3-4 minute video. I try to keep them short. I mean, I make them 3-4 minutes and the average view duration is like 1:20, you know? So if I put out a video that's 20 minutes long, most people won't even click on it anymore. It's crazy the lack of focus people have anymore. And I try to just get one idea across. Yeah, you almost have to like play to the fluoride, you know?
You do if you want to get to a wider audience. I mean, you'll always be able to get to people like John who'll go back and listen to our own show and everyone else's. But man, it's like I said, there's so much great content out there. It's hard to keep up and have a life and not fight with the significant other all the time.
But yeah, now it takes me 3-4 days to write, 3 paragraphs because I'm just sitting there thinking about it all day long. Okay, I got to make sure I bring this up. I got to do this. And then once I start writing, it just all flows out of me. But I kind of like to have an idea of what I'm going to say and what I'm not going to say, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't have that ability to just write. I have to think about it. I've always been like that, though. Even when I wrote poetry, when I wrote music, it wasn't like I was like, okay, I'm going to write a song tomorrow. I better get some rest. It doesn't work that way. It's like a spur of the moment, inspiration hits you and you're like, dang, I got to write that down. It was never something I could plan to do. So yeah, much respect for Salamo and people like that just can put it together so eloquently, so quickly, just like right off the top of their head. It's amazing.
And it's definitely a skill that is something, it can be acquired, quote unquote, taught, quote unquote. But the natural ability to just be able to put it out there in the amount like that, yeah, it's a inborn thing, I think, anyway. There's musicians like that. I mean, you can learn the theory and the scales and know how to write a song, but some guys just wake up and 53 songs come out of their head before they get to the bathroom. It's just, I don't know, the connection to that flow thing, I guess. Focus maybe is part of it, maybe. Not known for focus. Squirrel. Wait, before the break, we were talking Mandela or something, right? Because I see in chat we've talked about it again, and there was something about the Mandela that I wanted to bring up. Oh, you said something about a new Mandela? Is that what it was before the break, Zach? Man, I'm so lost. I should have wrote it down.
I don't think I said anything about anything new. I was just talking about
Brian. Which
yeah,
we've said Brian needs to come on, and he said he would. I said that to him on one of his live shows, and he said, yeah, and then, of course, back burner, and then it got cold. So we need to get on that again with Brian.
Yeah,
sure.
I was going to figure I'm going to be with Brian in 3 weeks, like in the same house.
That's true. That's true. Well, then we might have an in-house video.
That'd be a cool one. Yeah.
Area.
Yeah.
That might be awesome. Let's try to make that a thing. Let's do this. Oh, Salamo's or I guess he's asking. In the whole thing about, to me anyway, where I've kind of landed, which I have not of late been on Brian's channel, so he may have come up with something that'll break my brain again, but I dug in so deep early on. I think, who was it? Jesse Spots had a video early on, because he was one of the first flat earthers I found, just how it happened. And one of his videos was about the Mandela effect and Cuba or somewhere being off the map different and all this stuff. I'm like, what? So that's what got me looking into it in the first place. And I was like, oh, so the rest of the world finally figured out they changed the Berenstein's bears to Berenstain, because I had figured that out in like 90, 91, looking for a gift for one of my nieces, nephews, I don't know, but someone, and saw the books with the new name that I had grown up, late 60s, early 70s reading. As I've said before, Berenstein's '(S) bears, or S' bears, I can't remember, because it was the author's bears, and I didn't understand the possessive, and how can the bears, who were Stein because of Frankenstein, how can they possess themselves? And then 70s it changed to just the Berenstain bears, cartoon, all that, and then boom, when I saw it in the store, it was Berenstain, and I assumed it was some kind of anti-Semitic thing. They had changed their name and went on with my life. But then in art, looking for a color, trying to find it in a set of oils or acrylics, and where is chartreuse? It's not here. And then we're like, it's right there in front of your face. And they picked up this baby puke green color, and I'm like, that's not chartreuse? What's wrong with you people? Chartreuse is like a maroonish purple. And they're like, no, it's never been that. And I'm like, yes, it is. And I asked about 10 other people around me, and they were all like, yeah, it should be. And they're all freaking out too. And so that was all that to me was pre-internet, pre-digital, me being in the world of easily changed ones and zeros, whatever the hell you want to call it. Now, I'm not saying that the whole Berenstein's thing isn't another piece of this puzzle of them changing our reality so that they can fuck with us, or the color changing isn't something they could have done. Again, why that particular color? No clue. But yeah, those two things for me are as real as this whole thing gets. Anything after that I've looked at, I remember a question in either Trivia Pursuit, Trivia from Disney, I don't know, but I remember the question. What does the what does the Queen say to the mirror? And everybody's saying around the table, mirror, mirror, and then the actual quote was, no, magic mirror. And then seeing it in a book and all this other stuff. Like I said, all this stuff just seems to be memory. Even the map stuff. You know, how many of us are cartologists pre-Flat Earth? So, I don't know. It all just seems to be memory and people looking for a final transition of a song that should be there. But that's why the song was left with that suspension. That's why they wrote it that way. You know, just... but then it's that whole...
that's what Mandela... That's what it is, you know, you're remembering something, but it's from a different timeline almost.
I don't know.
Like there's all these different universes, or all these different dimensions.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Go.
And now they're all starting to kind of merge into one, into making that, you know, the Age of Enlightenment or whatever. The big, like with all this electrical stuff. Yeah, that's me and Bob have been talking about this.
The whole fucking thing of the whole media frenzy around it. They made a real movie about it. Have they made a real Flat Earth movie yet? No, all they've made are debunk pieces. But they made a real movie.
It was a hit piece on Mandela, though.
I guess. It was just too big of a movie to me. Once it got that big, then it was too being pushed in our face. I don't know. I'll probably feel the same way when the Flat Earth movie comes out. I've always felt that way when things get too popular. I liked Motley Crue before Shout at the Devil came out.
Well, see, that's just it. If they would have promoted it as being real in the movie and like something, and then I would have been like, okay, this, that's probably fake if they're telling us that. I don't
See,
know.
it sounds like we have got to get Brian on so we can have this debate with him, because he's definitely got a bigger fount of knowledge about it than I have. Like I said, I checked it out early on and kind of had my oh wow moments with it, and then kind of went on with it. Saw too many memory issues that I knew. Anyway, yeah, we need to get Brian on.
Yeah, the one that really did it for me and set it in was my very own personal one, the Aries diffraction.
Right. So you've got one that's your real one. Like I've got real ones I say are real. Everybody's got that. That's why this thing's so big, because everybody can point to something that hits them in the heart, hits them in the soul, hits them like, yeah, there's no way they faked this.
I'm pretty sure it was a Wednesday when I found out, and we went and did our pre-show, and I was all broken up about it.
I remember you being upset that you couldn't find it.
Yeah, and then my brain just started like, does not compute, malfunction, something's wrong here. And I just toted it up to, okay, I must have been crazy for a year and a half. That was a hard one, because it wasn't like something that I had seen a couple times over, decades. It was something that I studied every single day and typed into my phone every single day. And yet to have it not be there anymore. And it wasn't like it was just not there one day. I went away for, a few months. And then people started asking me about the videos I was making. I was like, well, yeah, you just look up Aries diffraction. And they're like, well, I can't find anything on it. I was like, what? So I went and looked it up, and I couldn't find anything on it. And at first I was like, oh, Google's fucking with me, But it's like, no, they can't take away scientific terms and not have anybody notice. And that's when it really dawned on me, there's something going on here. There's got to be. So, yeah, I mean, some of them could be. I mean, it could be maybe the government or whoever, the powers that be, is manipulating with our memory when it comes to a lot of these pop culture things, because they want us to think that it's fake. You kind of get what I'm saying?
I say we're having the debate in chat. I see Flat Earth Aussie saying, just like me, the movie was Magic Mirror, but different from the book. Whatever. Everybody's got their own opinion. Oh, look, Martin saying it was Mirror. So see, this is awesome. Yeah, we need to get Brian on and have this whole thing just go through chat, through us, that'd be awesome. So, Brian, if you're listening, get with us. Or Zach, you'll have to do it when he gets in your face, I guess.
Yeah, I've hung out with Brian. We hung out a weekend during Flattoberfest last October, and it was awesome. That guy is, like you see him on the show, he's like that all the time. That's Brian.
Awesome.
He's not putting on a show.
No, it's definitely a real energy. I feel that.
Yeah, that's him.
Love Brian's show. It's a blast. Yeah. You better hold on, buckle up when you get there. And I can't wait for that when he gets here.
We are rolling up on break number 2 here.
Yeah, we are quickly about to run into it. If we shut Josh down, you and I seem to have just kind of taken over. Sorry.
Do it. Run away with it.
He's like getting ready. He don't care. He's getting ready for work. Oh, wow, it's here. I was looking at the clock, and now it's right there. All right. So maybe a pile of lettuce to dig into when we get back.
I think that'd be a good idea. We still got stuff from Tuesday we didn't get into.
Yeah.
We had a great show on Tuesday. Mark Sargent called in, had a little conversation with Mark. Then we had a long-lost buddy just stroll in out of nowhere.
Yes, we did, James. Miss you, brother. Indeed.
See, there it is. I was just waiting on it. See, my clock's a little slow.
All right. I guess we'll shut up. Let build Ironworx, man. Are you breaking? And the steel.
Hi, my name is Ella, and I'm 10 years old. I'm one of the millions of children born to parents suffering from the sheeple virus. Symptoms include the inability to think for oneself, the attention span of a goldfish, and a strong belief in government and the mainstream media. It is estimated that 1 out of every 2 children are being raised by parents infected with the sheeple virus. But there is a cure. For as little as 19 cents per day, you can become a TFR supporter and help children like me get their daily dose of truth. Together, we will make sure every child has protection from deception.
Bracing for a drenching. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. Tropical storm warnings along the coastline from southern New Jersey to Connecticut as Tropical Storm Faye approaches.
Maximum winds are near 45 miles an hour. It's moving north right along the mid-Atlantic coast at about 8 miles an hour. And the system's going to come on shore pretty soon, given the fact that it's not far from the coastline already. We think that the center of Faye is probably going to make landfall somewhere along the state of New Jersey, or it may move along the coastline of New Jersey and then come in toward New York.
Meteorologist John Cangelosi at the National Hurricane Center says up to 5 inches of rain is likely, and the storm could spawn tornadoes today in New York and in New Jersey. They may be wrestled away from him eventually, but 2 Supreme Court rulings yesterday mean President Trump's tax returns will not likely be made public before the November election.
Justices allowed New York prosecutors to continue their pursuit of the president's financials, sending it back to a lower court. The Chief Justice, John Roberts, said the president had absolutely no right to block the release of those papers, so that fight will obviously continue. The president said this.
I was disappointed, and at the same time, it was because I think a president should get protection from thousands of prosecutors out there, thousands all over the country. They could go after you, and you're supposed to be running the country.
In a separate decision, the court ruled that Congress could not, at least for now, see many of those very same records.
Fox's Kevin Corke in an exclusive interview last night, the president telling Fox's Hannity his November opponent has been taken over by what he called the radical left.
They brainwashed him. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know what he's doing. And our country will suffer. Our stock markets will crash.
Joe Biden released his economic plan yesterday, much of it similar to one proffered during the primaries by Bernie Sanders. America is listening to Fox News.
This is the Truth Frequency Radio Network. TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Okay, dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there.
There was one?
There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard, to think really hard, to think really hard.
Wake up!
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Ironworks. Starting right now. Man,
Indeed it is.
That first hour went by like it was nothing.
Indeed it did. Wow, did I echo? It sounded really weird when I spoke.
It's the space between your ears.
Thank you. It's getting more vast by the day, sir.
I had to say it. I love you all.
We've had a request in chat from our good friend, long-time friend of the show. I mean, long time. Daz Gobzine. Go check out his art somewhere. I don't really know how to tell you to find it offhand. Follow him and he'll tell you. But he's apparently fallen down Martin's mud flood hole. And has broken his brain a bit, and we fully understand. And just like what he said in an earlier part of the chat, he didn't think anything could be more of a rabbit hole than flat Earth. But I think flat Earth was there to kind of keep us from finding the muddy hole. So, yeah, it's been quite a slippery slope, and gets more intense. Like earlier when I was saying about the pre-internet, pre-digital for me, early 90s, late 80s, whenever that was. Yeah, I saw a recent video that apparently they've had all this stuff, the internets and Skype video calls since the 50s, and Martin was talking about that on our chat as well earlier. So, yeah, Martin is welcome any time here on the Realm, in any of our capacities, here on Ironworx, over there on Have No Sphere. His family has been since day one, so he knows this.
I know. I hate asking him to come on.
I know. I hate to bug him. That dude is so busy.
So busy.
Always
good. Now, I don't want to slow him down at all.
See, that's what I think, man. That's exactly what I think. It's like, that dude's doing important work. He don't need to come sit and bullshit around with us. You're welcome anytime, Martin. You know that, brother.
Oh yeah. Blows my mind every time. Every time I am lucky enough to catch his shows, it's just something new that's just like, man, now I have to put this into, my brain and try to. They knew so much back then.
Yeah, way more than they told us, for damn sure.
And figuring it out, just looking at pictures the way he does, it's just genius. How he can analyze it, and even the drawings, what the drawings mean, and this and that, and yeah,
and I pride myself from way back on being very aware when I'm looking at art or drawings, both for technique and content and hidden things. And I'll be looking at the same picture he's got on the screen, and suddenly he'll point out three things that just completely flew by me. And it's like, dude, how? Yeah, very on point with his observations of, as you say, the art, the pictures, the engravings. It's nuts.
And my son sent me a link from Reddit earlier this week, I think. It was talking about how that first R shouldn't be there. The Tartarian, not Tartarian.
I think we all got that from Mr. Burns.
Then there was
give the peasants their ta sauce.
But it was got into some really decent subreddits, and there was some really cool conversations going on in there. I'll have to share. I think I shared it earlier somewhere. Did you guys see somebody, I guess a listener to Have No Sphere, had taken that what is it, the Sephiroth that you had made for Cammy out of Play-Doh and toothpicks or whatever it was?
Yeah, and made a 3D.
It made the 3D model out of it?
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Wait, I missed this. How did I miss this? Because we've put that call out many times for someone that has that ability to help Cammy make this thing logically presentable. I haven't seen it. Please share. How did I miss that? I guess I've been too busy tying shirts.
I think it's in that Wednesday pre-show there in Skype.
Oh, see, I didn't click stuff. I just kind of scammed through. My bad. Man, okay, I can't wait now to go see that.
See, looks like Martin could go find it for us. He could probably scroll back in the chat now and find that link. It's weird because YouTube videos don't come up with any sort of preview in any of my versions of Skype. So it's just a YouTube link.
Right, mine either. It's just links, and sometimes I'm just in a busy place and don't click them, so that's probably why I missed it. Awesome.
Yeah, I saw that one. Well done.
And much appreciated, truly. That, I think, is the secret to this whole thing. We have so much talent, so many people with so many amazing brains that could put so many of these puzzle pieces together. That's awesome. Yes, Enlightened Dawn, that was the turtle thing. Now we got to figure out, I mean, I can visually see it. I just couldn't make it work out with photographs of what she was having for us. And to getting into the 3D world is beyond me, so I'm glad somebody could do it. Nice. Well, I was even thinking with Norb having released all of his assets to the world, there would be some way with somebody's skill to get into those assets and tweak them here and there and make it work. But I don't know. I'm not that guy. So I could be talking out of my head. That may not be possible. Again, I don't know how them ones and zeros work, man.
Hey, let's try this. See if this will work. Through the magic of the interwebs. There he is. Good morning, Martin. How you doing?
Hey,
thank you, dudes.
Oh, nothing.
What's going on, bro?
Just hanging out, doing nothing.
Is that instant gratification or what? Oh my goodness.
It's part of my routine. Check out what's happening on TFR. What's happening, guys? Hi, Zach.
Martin.
Hey, Martin.
Hey, brother.
Hanging in there. Excited. Getting ready for
I'll turn on my camera for you and say hey for a second. I see you on the camera there, friend.
My brother.
Well, we're so glad to have you. Apparently, you broke into Daz's brain, as you have with all of us. So
Zach.
Well,
it's been mind-blowing lately, guys. My mind is just freaked out. It is getting so crazy. I can't even explain.
Yeah, this is what I really wanted to try to let you touch on, because I think this is something Zach is going to really jump into this and is going to be waiting on the edge of his seat for this to actually come out. So, tell us a little bit what you're getting ready to release.
Well, we've been working on, basically, I overlaid motherboards from computers on old plans for Piranesi 18th century art, the plans for the Great Exposition's cities, all including the pyramids, including Angkor Wat, all ancient sites, and it's just literally just blows your mind. They are the same, right? So it seems that all of the Earth is covered in ancient glyphs, petroglyphs, lines, all running perpendicular to one another all over Asia, all over America. You can see these on Google Earth. I've been posting about them for years. Seems that there was a grid laid down in the ancient Italian world. Now, it seems the cities were computers. Like, you've got a computer now in front of you, and the processing power does what you need to do now. But what would a city-sized computer computate? So we're thinking like on the lines of, were they actually, computing reality? What were the cities? And the cities that are there today, look at Las Vegas. I looked at a link last night. Las Vegas is thought to be a circuit board city. It looks identical to a circuit board city. They have the main processor. This is why all of these buildings are identical all over the world, built on the exact same specs. And we thought, well, why are they built in the same post offices in Christchurch, New Zealand, as they had in Kuala Lumpur? What's going on? Because these buildings have to be a specific shape to fit into their circuitry. So it would seem that all ancient cities are circuits, and they have put the more recent cities, they're all arrived in the 1800s when all this reset happened, on the old footprint. So we're surmising now, like Dark City, are the cities still machine cities, and are they still doing the job that they used to do? So we've been going into that, but batteries, this is mind-blowing mind. So when we go out of a day, guys, right, we charge up, okay? We charge up with electricity, don't we? When we discharge later, we go home, we relax, but we go home. Now, in the ancient world and the antiquity world, there was no need for stone buildings. We lived in goods or teepees or tents, right? But the Phoenicians are now in the city paradigm when they got us all in city computers, okay, is to put people in brick cells, brick buildings, houses. Now, all houses are grounded, aren't they? Yeah, they got grounding on, haven't they? For electricity, right? No. So we charge up during the day when we're out of work and we're doing our daily activity. Now, just stop there a second. Now, I posted my last post that I did on the Tatarian channel before it got basically hacked and deleted was human battery banks. So what we surmised that below Paris catacombs, layer after layer, they've placed 18 million bones all compressed together. Now, when bones are compressed together, they release a piezoelectric charge. Now, we looked into how was it possible for a bone to release a piezoelectric charge and what is exactly the circumstances behind this. So this is where it got really, really mind-blowing. Now, think of the thigh. The thigh bone, okay, is actually like a battery. It's sealed both ends. And inside, there's a gloopy fluid, the marrow bone, the marrow, okay? So we think that when the bones are compressed, the marrow acts just like sort of battery, causes some sort of, a reaction. And that's what's releasing huge amounts of energy, of electricity. Now, there's been trillions that have been killed in resets before us, and they're all below our feet in the mud, and all them bones are too, and they release a charge, okay? Maybe the charge is getting weaker. Who even knows? Maybe the charge of all of those bones is what makes the electricity happen. You know, the natural electricity, what they say, these ions flying around, bashing, big bang of some sort happens. We have no evidence for any of that really happening, guys. Electricity might not be what we think it is. In fact, there might be some other electricity in the electricity, 2 types of electricity, Zach, or even more. In the electricity.
No, we know nothing about electricity. Scratch the surface.
Scratch the surface.
It. Yeah.
Yeah, they thought of electricity in the alchemical days as Deus, which is God. They thought it was, because it's white, it's intense, it's, all ultimate energy. So they thought of it in terms of, of it being God.
It's pure.
Yeah. So yeah, these bones. So hang on a minute. Now, if you think of, like in The Matrix, because I think that film's more than a film now. They tell you about human batteries. Now, if your limbs are sealed compartments that act and look like a battery, then we are, making a whole lot of charge during the day, during our activities. And then when we go home to our stone houses, we discharge and we earth. Okay, that's when you're all zapped out and knackered after a hard day out when you get home to your brick building. Now, if you was if you theorized that if you could just maybe just live on marrow, maybe not human obviously, but marrow, which has these piezoelectric forces, and never go home after the day, then conceivably you could really live forever. It is the process of aging that they're doing to us. It's partly dehydration. It's partly after our day getting us into brick buildings to earth and discharge. This is why these rubber boots are forced on us, If you were struck by lightning with rubber boots on, you would go up in a puff of smoke. Yet, if you were in old Holland and you had a pair of clogs on, because wood doesn't conduct that well, you would survive a zap of lightning or electricity. So there's, they're getting us into houses and brick buildings so we earth and discharge after a day so that we age and we don't truly ourselves.
Let me ask you this. I don't want to derail you, but let me ask you one question. Am I the only one who, or probably not, but hopefully not, I come home, like you say, long day, doing whatever, I sit in the chair or sit next to the wife on the couch, and within seconds, nodding out. Can't watch TV or anything. Can't even sit and talk to her. But if it's late enough and I'm in that position, in that situation, and we go, fuck it, let's go to bed. As soon as I lay down in that fucking bed, I am wide awake. So I remember one of our friends early on talking about when you do a lot of distilled water, when you lay down in your bed, you're like, was that hacksaw? That was hacksaw. you break this electrical field. You've become 90 degrees to the electrical field, and that's when you get into that place where you're able to astral project. You're in touch with other places. That's why we dream like we do. That's why I'm wide awake when I lay down in my fucking bed. So it's got to be that whole field that you guys were talking about, the electrical field. Holy shit.
Yeah. I was watching the Animatrix last night, clues for circuit board cities, and in the intro, the first bit of the Animatrix movie is basically the Oracle, and she's on a mandala, and the mandala is a circuit board. And then they zoom in, to the multi-layers of reality. Somebody put in my comments the other day, blew my mind, said a friend of his had done a DMT trip and popped out of the Matrix. Basically, he found himself stood in a room with two men looking over a television screen on a large table at our reality, like we're in a movie. They were really upset to see him there, said you shouldn't be here, etc., etc., and they got him out of there and managed to pop him back into this reality. So he popped out the Matrix, basically, out of this frequency, out of this channel.
Stop before I could get anywhere. I fought it too much, I think, at the beginning. I was trying to stay in this reality.
Yeah, the universe won't let you if you're frightened, Zach. If you've got any doubts about where you're going, the universe is a very, very kind thing. And, it's like very gentle. And if you're not ready, that doesn't mean to say you can't. It's just maybe something internal, you're not ready. Your spiritual process wasn't ready for that just yet. Maybe now or later on. And then the universe will 100% definitely let you do that and pop out. No doubt about it.
As soon as I was done, and I was coming to, and I was starting to gain, some perspective about it, I wanted to go right back.
Yeah, man.
But my body was saying, no, just wait a little bit. Just wait a little bit. That was kind of intense. Let's just wait a little bit.
When they say to us, remember where you came from, I think there's more to that saying than the saying. I think when they say remember, or remember to remember, or remember who we are and where we came from, in my mind, guys, I think we were here before. I think we were here maybe 2, maybe dozen resets back a long time ago. And we've been elsewhere in the interim period, kidnapped, if you like. And then we've been brought back in this now Phoenician paradigm. And we all sort of feel that we are not at home and we belong somewhere else, and that we're more, we're much, much more. And our frequencies fits in with this. The whole thing is against what we are. There's this massive confliction going on all at the time with us, guys. It's like we don't fit here. So I think that we were here before, definitely. I think we're here. This now, to me, this time now, is just biblical, isn't it, guys? What's going on? What's to come? Like that advert just now with Trump saying the economy could crash. Guys, that could happen any single day now. And that would not surprise any human being on earth if all the economy...
No, it should have happened.
Why haven't it? How are they paying for everything, Zach? What's going on? They can keep
fire
printing.
Up the press. Just fire up the press.
Here, I have a question for everybody listening, everybody in chat, and anybody who might be in some type of business. I had somebody on my Twitter feed the other day say that they had a experience where they went to a store to get quarters. That's what it was. And they were told that this would probably be the last order of quarters they could be given at the bank because mints are no longer making coins for the USA. And that soon they're going to stop printing ones and then fives. So they're heading for hyperinflation. That's pretty much the last step for all this. Y'all give me a second. I have a wasp of all things flying around my room. So y'all carry on without me for a second.
Excuse me.
Yeah, and I've been down to Waltz, and I got bit or stung by a wasp. I haven't been stung in so long, and I just wasn't paying attention. I got a little too close. I was taking pictures.
My son got stung in the eyeball by a wasp.
Ooh. Yeah, it got me right on the neck.
Landed on his eyelid when it was closed, and it stuck his thing, and it went through his eyelid, straight into his eyeball.
Damn.
I had to pull it out, I had to. It was awful.
Sorry, Martin. I'm filling up my water.
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
some cider.
Stuck trying to imagine getting stung on the eyeball by a wasp. And
big shout out to Nora, still in chat.
Yeah, I love Nora.
Shout
no
out.
one's flower for everybody that doesn't know.
Shout out to Karen B too. I see in chat.
Ooh, Karen B.
21 days, and I will be giving Karen B a big hug. I can't wait.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I can't hear all this. Every time does this to me. I wanted to go Myrtle Beach and dive in. I was so jealous that day. I was like, I've been looking out the same window at the same view for months on end. It was still on lockdown, really. Can't really go anywhere. But I chucked myself into my work, which is really, really good because for that side it's been brilliant. Can't go up there.
The stuff you're finding, man. I don't know how you do it. I know it's a lot of research and a lot of dedication. You put a lot of time into this stuff, and
yeah, all day, all night, really. So my life and the rest of the times in comments, emails, and just keeping everything going. Really, is a lot. I got a lot happening in the background. So, but this is my break with fam.
So when can we see you next live?
Well, I only put I like my last video. I have just it's been crazy since because I have like 10,000 views almost in a day, so it's just blown everybody's minds and they all want answers. But like since that video I released like a day ago, so much more has happened. It's blown my mind again. So I'm about halfway through putting all that in an order and a way to explain to people. If I can do that again. Oh.
Do you find it hard to try to explain the stuff that you're finding? Like
I have to
what it is, but trying to put it in terms.
Yeah, I get nervous. I get nervous that that with such an important discovery or something, or message, or the outcome, or even the implications of it all, that I got to get it right. So like I beat myself up about that. I'm a bit of a perfectionist anyway. So I will run through it all in my mind over and over and over again, just basically tweaking it and taking out all of the potential negatives in the future. I will analyze every single aspect of it so that so it will always be with love, and then it can, we'll always know.
Yeah, not poking at anybody, nothing like that.
No, I never do that.
To share. Yeah.
Don't care for all that, me. Not even that, just with every part of it, the ultimate aim would be for humanity and for us all, for the truth, for the ultimate prize and the freedom. That's what every bit of it has to have. Nothing the other way. Because, with this place, if you hang around like people who are always negative intent and they're moaning like shit all the time about nothing, usually themselves and their needy wants, then that is infectious. You will pick up on that. You'll start to feel your vibration drop along with them. That thing works on the big scale, on the mass. The way they got everyone on a lower vibration experience, everybody else sees everyone else like, and they can drop. Yeah, if you hang around only with loving, good people who have abundance possibly, but on that sort of positive intent vibe, then your life will reflect the same as well. It's only being around negative, shitty people that your life will be negative and shitty. You get rid of that aspect, I can guarantee you. And good people, good, loving, true people around you, can't go wrong, can't fault. That's what I think, anyway.
Yeah, isn't it amazing how it works like that?
Abundance goes to abundance, and so does truth. Truth goes to truth. You can't have a truth without a lie for a start off, can you? Because that's how it works. You can't have a lie without truth either. And everything is in not balance. Sometimes it is, but it's in opposition. Every single thing in this place is in opposition with each other. And if you could take that out of our mindset, the opposition, and then it'd be just wow. You wouldn't need. I keep thinking that when this reality is truly unveiled to us, this experiment was done to me years ago, Zach, right, by a really trippy friend, a mentor, early mentor of mine. He's dead now. We've done a lot of trips together, yeah. And he said, now, close your eyes, Martin. Imagine you're in a room and there's a double. Is that
Martin, can you hold on to that trip for 1 second? And the break news just hit my ear, so but we can take that trip. We are talking with surprise guest Martin Linka, Flat Earth Fetish, right here. Ironworx. Be right back.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon. By Christine, great for heart palpitations. By Ann, before I started using this product, every afternoon my ankles and my hands would be swollen. That doesn't happen anymore. So if that part of their advertising is true, I have to assume that the rest of it is also. Not to mention that when I had my yearly blood test, only a few weeks after beginning to use this product, my cholesterol had dropped over 30 points. I'm going to continue to take it. By Croc, I love this product. It really works. By Brad, works great, thank you. Tell us your story. Get your Extendivite today. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Jacob Frank Leibovich is the mastermind behind a global network of satanic cults. He taught that the creator God was evil. Jacob Frank proclaimed himself as the true Messiah. He vowed never to tell the truth. He rejected every moral law and declared that the only way to a new society was through the total destruction of civilization. Murder, rape, incest, and the drinking of blood were perfectly acceptable actions and rituals. His followers established the Marxist system and have infiltrated Islam and Judaism. He was the Messiah of the Illuminati.
EnigmaTV.com.
You are now tuned into the truth frequency.
Your protection from deception. TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Here's a message of importance to millions of people who are continually pale and washed out, weak and run down. Doctors will tell you that these conditions are often caused by a deficiency of iron. The iron you need to keep you physically fit and mentally alert. Medical studies show that 2 out of 3 women and many, many men lack the daily iron your body requires in a form your body can easily use and put to work for you.
Not for me, okay?
every dose gives you more than your daily minimum iron requirement.
We are awake, we are aware, we are not alone. We are striving for more.
So if you're not getting the iron your body needs, if you feel weak, run down, and are easily upset, start taking iron today.
The iron you need to get what you want.
You're listening to the Ironworx on TFR. Break clear of the fear.
That cracks me up every time. But welcome back to the Ironworx. We are hanging out this morning with Martin Linka. We just discussed a little bit of what he's going to be talking about in his next data dump, his next premiere, his next revelation, his next introduction to a rabbit hole.
So before the break, you were talking about a gentleman.
I just had a mind wipe. Completely vacant. I don't even know where I am. Oh, I'm all right. I'm here again. Yeah, no. Basically, this experiment we did, it was a mental experiment. I wasn't tripping on nothing. It was more hypnosis. But it's like, imagine yourself in a room and there's a double doors in front of you, wooden doors, what have you, but they go out into a beautiful garden. Just, you can't see the garden because there's nets there, but you know the garden's there. You've never seen the garden. You sat maybe on the end of your bed. Right, close your eyes. Okay. Now walk over to those double doors, open them up and step out and tell me what you see. And I did it in my mind. And when I stepped out, it never ever happened in my life before. Okay, it was like the last 10 minutes of the Celestine prophecy. I mean, plants were not really plants anymore, guys. Trees were not trees, or whatever this thing is. It was not that anymore. Everything had changed, and it was amazing. It was scintillating. It was like, holy fantasticness! Wow, is that what this place even is?
You just went straight to the 13th insight? That's insane.
Only had a glimpse, but I'd never seen anything like it before in my reality. Not even tripping. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It was, the only thing I can kin it to is like that last bit of the Celestine prophecy when everything starts to unveil. So yeah, so that was there, and that happened in my psyche through a quite a simple, mind experiment of an afternoon. So I was like, holy shit. It's like, yeah, I know. Like, wow. Maybe you should try that experiment yourself when you're chilling there. See if you can see it. Yeah. Mind-blowing to me.
Wow.
That reality is there.
Well, that's interesting. I had quite a few, well, I don't know quite a few, but definitely memorable times that, I don't even know how to explain it. You wake up, quote unquote, in the bed and like get up, or I don't even know how to explain it. You in your head, in your will, you're getting up, and suddenly you're not in your body any longer. It's sort of astral projection, but you're still within the physical reality. And at that point is like when you see the auras, the things around, the fields around, everything, not just yourself or the trees. I mean, everything, rocks, the electric lines outside, it looked like just madness what goes on in those lines. It's definitely not good energy. You can see how dissonant it is compared to the natural energies around the trees and the plants and stuff. So that's wild that you had that actually happen during an altered consciousness.
Well, when you take a hallucinogen, usually your pupils dilate.
Yeah.
And they get real big. And I've been thinking about that a lot lately because I've been doing some refreshing on optics. And when your pupil gets bigger, you can see more. The little band that diffracts and interferes all that information, your pupil's that much bigger now, double, maybe even triple the size of normal. So you're seeing that much more. Maybe reality is always waving and shifting and phasing, but it's happening so slightly that our eyes can't pick it up. Nothing can really pick it up. I don't know.
Well, I never needed glasses, Zach. Tripping. I never needed them. I was cured. My eyesight was cured when I used to take acid, yeah. And I never needed glasses. I used to put them in my coat. I never used them. So there's something in that.
Wow, no doubt. Shifting
to the lens, isn't it?
Right. Actually, probably changing it.
And the input. We're only, what's in this visible light spectrum? What we privy to? What privy to? Or what's really here? As we are our frequency
that we know about, we can see just 7%, and that's just the light spectrum that we can measure. It doesn't say that it doesn't keep going on. This is just the spectrum that we have instruments that can gather these waves. There could be more out there.
Sure, I think so. I think it's infinitely complex.
Yeah. At the same time, so simple. At the same time, it's just a beautiful, simple symphony, just like unveiling around us at all times.
Yeah.
It's amazing the way the creator did it.
You might know, Zach. Do you know of the physicist and author Tom Campbell? My Big Toe?
No.
You wrote
I've heard My Big Toe.
Yeah, I read it about 15 years ago, something like that. Blew my mind.
What was it again? I'm sorry.
My Big Toe. My Big Toe.
I've heard of it. I haven't read it. No, yeah.
Yeah. So it's really weird. I sort of got headhunted by him, and I had a visitor to my flat who was the president of the Consciousness Research Institute, a lady from Ireland. So I was come to the house because Tom Campbell, the famous physicist from the, used to work in the Monroe Institute. He worked for the defense program for the US military, apparently saved the world once, according to the narrative. Because I don't even know, he must be watching me or something, but I think it's for something more spiritual. I think it's something more like, things I can do. About my big toe, which is simulation theory, or this place being a simulation. Now, this guy's a physicist, right? But he don't go with space. He don't go with any of this at all. I was watching Nick Funkit Words the other night, guys, right? I don't know whether you was watching any of that, guys, right? But he was on a live feed where he lives now in the UK, in Portishead, watching the moon rise, okay? So it was, first of all, it was illuminating the clouds. So that was something, because it's supposed to be far off. But the sliver of light scenario, again, that we always talk about was happening. But somebody in chat said, yeah, and I'm in Amsterdam and I'm having the same experience. It's this living across the canal. Oh, so that it is a subjective experience for myself, but it is also objective because other people are sharing it at the same time as well. Wow. So this is what Tom Campbell thinks. He thinks it's a subjective and objective. He's thinking in terms of, if the tree falls in the woods, and nobody's there to hear it, is it falling? Is the street away actually rendered? Does it need to be rendered until you actually make a phone call there or communicate with it? Is this, happening to every single one of us, individually at the same time? So yeah, a consciousness field is something that I've been going down for years, since the first vlog, really, and I'm very interested in it. So I'm going to be going, basically, I'm supposed to be speaking at conventions.
Well, you deserve it, man. Yeah,
it makes sense of the double split experiment. It makes sense of all, which is what I'm trying to reconcile and come to terms with is paranormal phenomena. Things I've experienced in my life, paranormal phenomena, I should say. And it makes sense of that. It makes sense of mud flood. It makes sense of Mandela effect. It makes sense of the ongoing changes. When people realize, they do a thing called lift entropy. Okay, lower entropy state you don't want to be in. A little higher entropy, And then it's I'll use the word evolution, consciousness evolution, every single one of us. None of us got the answers. No one knows really the destination, but consciousness, as we evolve, it evolves with us. So it reaches a point, a singularity, where the two converge. Now, the consciousness could be the program. The program is consciousness, okay? And we, you can see that we're not who we are, guys, and we're just living in these vessels. Death, isn't it? The people are like there, the lights, and then boom, they're gone. Where they gone? They just, the atoms just evaporate back into the ether and back into the matrix. Is that what happens? Because they're not in there anymore, and that's just an empty cell. So it wasn't really that. You're not really that body, are you? You're something else operating that body. Something else.
This is Avatar.
Yeah, I've unfortunately been too close to that over the last 6-8 months.
I know what I have been to the last 2
father-in-law and my mother, and I've seen it up close, man. Oh yeah, you too, my friend. I know it's not good to go through.
Sorry, don't get easier. It just gets different. It just changes. It don't get easier. It just changes.
No, it does. I know, and it hasn't gotten easier, but it definitely changes. But the perspective of seeing it that close, because we've been so as a society shut off from that experience. I think that's part of why, is because you see that this thing is just an avatar at best that we're driving around. Because there was no doubt that night before when Michelle's sister was visited by their father, and then we got to the room the next day and his body was there. There was no doubt he wasn't in that body anymore, and it just slowly wound down over the next few hours. So I mean, yeah, there's so many clues that you would see if you were close to that experience as a regular occurrence, instead of it being in a back room somewhere.
Yeah, this isn't like an advanced robot, if you like.
Right, exactly.
We're electric. Our minds, our Brian's, work on electrical impulses. Everything is electric in us. We store electric. We're charged. If we die, if we have a heart attack, they bring us back with electric. This place is an electric or electric realm. Wow. We're avatars. You put it into a spiritual sense, if you like, but in the modern day, you have to put it into some sort of sense that we can actually talk about, and it reconciles just so much of the questions are ongoing, especially this acceleration that's happening with the unveiling. Hardly anyone can keep up. We're like,
yeah,
right.
So overwhelming.
All every day, Zach. Overwhelming. Unless you're in it, you don't know it. It's like they are so. The sheep are missing out so bad. Yeah, this is just like.
Oh, I know. That's the thing. I mean, that's the biggest part about it. It's not so much knowing the truth. It's the feeling you get when you start understanding that you don't know anything, and now the world is. It's like you're a child again. You have child eyes, and you just want to learn everything you can and confirm it and, know it.
Exactly. That's what I do it like a child. It's like, wow, this is the right.
Well, that speeding up that you talked about a minute ago, I mean, that's obviously a big part of maybe the resistance to some of the people wanting to even see it now, because when we jumped in, some of us 20, 50, 30, whatever years ago, we've been in this ride on this stream, whatever, riding the rapids as it's continued to increase and get rougher, and the bumps and the rabbit holes. And so suddenly you throw this at somebody now, and they look at, not just see flat earth, and here's mud flood, here's plasma reset. I would break my brain and go run in front and put my head back in the sand too, probably, if I hadn't had some tempering to lead up to this.
Yeah. That happens, though. People do exactly that with that subject.
Yeah, how many of the old insane asylums were probably just prisons for people that saw the truth?
Yeah.
During the exchange.
Yeah, non-assimilated.
With everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You don't fit with the program, you go in there. That's right. That's what was going on.
Can't have people out there telling people the truth. We got to lock all you people up.
Yeah. They're just crazy people.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going with the program, what we're telling you.
Yeah, they don't believe history. They don't believe his story. Come on.
It's just insane. I can't believe what, I have no doubts in my mind that what the Truth Community has done has, hastened the current events in the world.
Yep.
No doubt about it in my mind at all now. Because of the way it's been carried out, they're trying to take control of the narrative, and they're running these psyops to the Truth Community, pathetic psyops, but to the sheeple, they're a real thing. Playing people against people like no tomorrow. Like people can't see beyond that for some reason.
Well, it's a television. If you don't hear it from a television, then it's not real. That is one of the greatest weapons ever created, right there.
I think it's a lot older. I've been posting about it, Zach. I think the telecommunications I posted in my post before last.
Yep, I was going to say it was a couple ago. Yep.
Yeah, evidence of even in the Skype that you think is new. Yeah, it was called Skype back in the 50s, and even on the adverts that they put up across America, it says connected by the internet. So they had the internet and they had Skype in the 50s. Just roll these things out over again. It's all brand new. You've never seen this before. Because the generation don't remember. We had active Skype calls in 1928 in Germany. They were doing FaceTime across the country, no problemo, with high-resolution screens as well. So, to my mind, right, because they roll this stuff out, our technologies like they are, like maybe, who even knows, infinite years ahead of us in technology, just drip feeding it to the cattle who don't need much. Imagine what's really out there. And
if it was applied,
and if it was
applied.
So the lady in the church half the movie does have a cell phone up to her ear, and that lady walking out of the factory with a group of friends does have a cell phone in her hand.
I think, in my mind, all this technology that's just been hiding, it was there already. In my mind, I can see Queen Victoria sitting there watching her television screen, because she would be, Queen of the Empire. She'd want to watch her battles going down and give her generals orders real time, FaceTime. I think the same for Napoleon. I think if he was a real thing, or, these people in history, if they were there, they would have had teleprompters on the field, like in the modern day. I don't think these technologies are new at all. I think they have been there in previous resets. The evidence I've been showing is overwhelming. We know they had cameras. We know they had camera obscura. They tell us that in the official narrative anyway. So they had cameras, and cameras are really simple tech. And they were really, in the alchemical era, they'd done a whole school on just lenses and the eye and our perception of reality through a curved lens. Yeah, it's just a mind-blowing study of Kirsters. I've been looking into it. And that's keys, our vision and the lenses.
They don't teach us anything about our optics.
No, nothing about optics. It's part of it. It's part of the whole story. It's a big part of the story. And so is the lens.
Even when you research
that they reiterate every time over and over is the fact that everything's projected upside down in the back of your eye. So that subconsciously you're always fucking upside down.
You got it. You got it. I was going to say that. Exactly that.
That's about the only thing anybody remembers from their science of the eye in high school or college is that everything's upside down, so that you're on your head all the fucking time.
Or is that the projection of being the right way up, and actually we are upside down?
Right? Boom. See, Martin.
It could be. I mean,
the right way up, guys.
The way electricity works, as above, so below. There's got to be something on the other side.
You got it.
Equal potential. That's just Gauss laws.
Yeah. That's the way I think of it as well. Has to be. Oh. I love talking to you guys. My brain.
Yeah, I know. Again, thanks, Daz, for thinking of the idea and putting it in our head. Of course, if I'd have seen you in chat, I'd have started yapping with you anyway, Martin. You know that.
I was just sat there with my son. He's wrapping parcels for the post office, and I was just checking out, enjoying it as usual. And then you mentioned, I thought, I'll come and say hi. But to get on my crazy day. Thanks.
We've only got about 5 minutes left, believe it or not.
Wow, no doubt. So I knew this hour with Martin would fly by. Well, man, for sure, the door is open, friend. You know that. Please come back, please, anytime. And always welcome here, welcome on the Have No Sphere. You know that.
Yeah, cool. I definitely will. I love hanging out with you guys. And Zach, man, I just, man. I love Zach, man. It's very start first saw this guy, you know. I just knew. I knew he was something special.
Oh, Martin, you're making me blush. Stop it.
Yeah,
I love you, brother.
We all love you, mate. We all love you.
I was telling a friend yesterday about Martin's channel, Martin's work, and some of the ideas about the breakaway civilization. God damn it, that wasp is back. Sorry, it just landed on my hand, literally. Asshole. All right, I'm going to be out of the way.
Just
sorry, dude. Wasps are fucking assholes. That's all they are. I'll be out of here.
The electric. It's attracted to the electric.
Poor little wasp just happens to be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
He was trying to tell you something, Walt.
Maybe it's got a camera on its head.
Yep, there you go.
It's the government flying a drone.
Yeah.
Some 19-year-old in a container somewhere with a joystick in his hand.
What was it? In the early 2000s, they had them that were the size of a mosquito.
Yeah, man.
Flying drone.
Get a Medal of Honor for that.
Yeah, exactly. PTSD. My drone went down in a swamp. A bullfrog ate it.
Bullfrog ate
it. Shit.
This crocodile came and ate the bullfrog. Then this Cajun came.
They're supposed to make the Predator drone here in Wales, not far from where I live. Yeah, I've never ever seen one go over. Maybe they just don't test them yet.
I've seen one, not a Predator. It was a lot smaller. It sounded like a lawnmower flying over my head. And when I was in Indiana, there's an Air Force base about 50 miles down a highway. And I just see this thing flying over, and it wasn't high at all, maybe 300 feet.
But were you?
But it sounded like a lawnmower flying over my head. And it was all tanned out. It wasn't like, I don't know. I'm assuming it was military. I've never seen anybody could buy it like that.
Well, the real thing, I know. I understand that. Just curious why I haven't seen any.
Yeah. Yeah, usually the Predators are way up there. You're not going to see them.
Well, that's what I gather from that video evidence. Then people getting splattered in Iran. It was. Oh no, that was actually an Apache helicopter. You couldn't see that either. So high elevation. Yeah, they take people out without even being visible with drones, can't they? Cheeky. 20 miles away, maybe.
How noble, right?
It's heroic. That's why you got to get a Medal of Honor for that. Yeah. I don't think I'm actually doubt whether any wars have happened. I was watching last night The Patriot with Mel Gibson, the film. Cracking fucking movie. But the way that they just stand in lines with their muskets opposite one another—that's the stupidest game in history.
Yeah, you couldn't
they shoot, reload, and hope you're not going to get your brains blown out on the next shot. It's like, what? You're not in trenches. You're doing that out in the open. Apparently, this was practiced in the American Civil War. Yeah, it sounds nuts. I don't think any of that went down, you know. Because that's just like humans are cleverer than that, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Wouldn't do it. I would not get up there and I'd be like, throw me in the stockade. Nope.
I think all wars are televised media, newspapers, Pathé newsreels, movies. I think I can't see any of this stuff actually happening. People are stupid. Stand there and take a shot for them. Wow. No.
No thanks.
Me either. Not even today.
Nope.
Can't see people wouldn't do it today, would they? Nobody.
Sure they would.
You think?
Sure. Lead cures COVID. If they tell people lead cures COVID, they would.
Oh, COVID idiots. They're a different breed. Oh, yeah. They'll jump off the cliff if they tell them it's a curable.
All right. Thanks so much, Martin. It's been an absolute pleasure.
See you on the scene.
Love y'all.
Gotta go.
We'll see you back here at Ironworx next week, Tuesday morning, 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Central, right over on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. And ideally, we'll be streaming elsewhere as well. Love you all. Be good. Be well. Happy Friday. Bye-bye.